In this video, we're going to cover cross sections, how to create the cross sections. First thing I want to do is attach the files that's pertinent to me creating my cross sections. So I'll go to the reference dialog box and open it up. Tools, attach, and then I navigate to the folder that I'm working in, and I'm going to need my terrain file, my corridor file, my geometry file, and my super elevation file. So I'll reference all those into my design file. Okay. Now the file that I'm using is j2p0200 underscore road1 underscore excess.dgn. This file was provided through the start job tool, so good to go here. The next thing I need to do is, I don't see any template drops in here, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure my terrain is active. And now I see some template drops, so I know it's working. It's resolving my end conditions. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to get out and cut the cross sections. All I need to do is go to the task pull down, navigate down through my civil tools to my corridor modeling task groups, and then look for my cross section tools. And they're about halfway down the corridor modeling. The first one's open the cross section view. We're not using that one. We want to do the second one, which is create cross sections from what we have. Okay, so I'm going to use this option. It asks me to locate the alignment. I want to zoom into the road 1, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to do the road 1 cross sections and give you some information about the tool as we go along. So, and this is actually the same exercise that we would run in our road 1 class. So I'll locate the alignment, and it takes a few seconds for the tool to populate. Even though it says not responding, it'll kick in a second. Okay, once the tool's open, you'll see there's a lot of leaves on the left, but the most important thing when we use our cross-section tool is to set the preference. Okay, it depends upon what type of cross-section we want to see. So I'm going to hit the preference button. It gives me a couple different options. You get a couple sheets. Well, you get 3 sheet options, and then you get 2 stacked. Now the sheet options will go out and place a border around your cross-section, so it's creating your cross-section sheets for you, and you have the 3 different scales, the 5, 10, and the 20. The stacked will actually just give you cross-sections with cells, so you can go in there and, if you want them just like they used to be with the stacked or cross-section only. And then we have one with the grid and axis. So I'm going to pick the 10 scale and do a sheet one, and I'm going to hit load. So you pick your preference, you load it. It tells you in this area down below, 10 scale loaded, and then we'll close out of this preference dialog box. So that all I did was set up all my defaults in the tool on these leaves. Really, when you're cutting cross sections, unless you're doing any kind of custom cross sections, meaning if you had a skew or a line string or something that you wanted to create a different type of cross section with, you basically just use this tool here on the general tab. I do have another video out there for the custom, so if you want to do custom cross sections, you can see that video. But we're just going to go over to the general tab. Now, as far as spacing, controls, axis, and the sheet, that's all predefined by the preference, so you shouldn't have to go in there and do any of that. Okay, general tab, I'm going to do the station range on this whole road 1, which is 0 to 35 plus 10. The left and right offsets the default to the preference, so I'm good there. And the interval is 50 feet. I'm going to leave it defaulted to that. No vertical exaggeration. I'll display them in view 1. And because we picked the model that we did, or the preference that we did, the sheet is the option. Okay, so we'll get our border file to come in with it. Now the model name is important. What this is going to do is going to create a model. And you remember the models. This is from this option up here. Right now we have a MoDOT, a default, and a default 3D. But what it's going to do is create another one below that, and it's going to be a cross-section model, and that's where our cross-sections will go. Now, the thing about these models, once you create a model, you really have, if you want to rename it later, it causes an issue. So what you want to do is have your naming defined before you go into creating it. So let's do this. Back at the create cross section, I'm going to call this road 1 because of the alignment, and I'll do a dash 10 scale. So I know it's a, I'll even give it a space in there. I know it's a 10 scale. Okay. And let's just put an underscore in there. This will tell me when I look at my model that I do have 10 scale sheets in here. And if it was a stacked one, I'd just do a stacked or something behind it so I can quickly identify that model, what it is. The scale is already set up because of our preference. We wanted the 1 inch equals 10 feet, so that's where we're at. So basically, you set up this first leaf how you want, and you're ready to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit the apply button. It's going to go create the cross sections in a brand new model. So you'll see eventually, yeah, you're going to see the bottom of a sheet being drawn, and then it's going to go through and create all the sheets that we identified, or all the sections. Okay, so there they are. That's all our sheets. I can zoom into that first sheet, and you can see these are our cross sections. One thing I like to do when I create my cross sections is turn off some level displays so I can see better. And I got these minor grid lines out there, so I'm just going to go to the level display. I'm going to change my filter to used and open this up a little bit, and I'm looking for the minor grid lines. There, I click that, they're all off. Okay, so now I can see a little better in here. You can also see what you've got with your cross sections. There's also a tool to go along with our cross sections for viewing. It's a little different. It's the cross section viewer. Bring it up. And with any of these tools that you bring up to ask for a cross section model, you might want to pay particular interest into what it says here and make sure it matches the view that you're in. Road 1 -10 scale is what I was using, but as you do more models, you'll see there's a list here. So when you first open it up, it'll default to the top option. So you want to make sure you're looking in the right one, because it will go to the other model and let you see that. Okay, so in this tool, it's a little different than the other ones. It doesn't have a VCR button, but you're allowed to go out here and pick and get that cross section in your screen. Okay, so and you can see there's some oddball ones out here, and what this is, we got some sections out here. Is under controls, critical sections. We have horizontal and vertical cardinal points checked on, which will give us all our VPIs, PIs, PC, PTs, all that. You're going to get it all. So if you wanted just even stations without this, you can simply uncheck these and get even stations. But for the most part, when we do our cross section, we want everything. So let's go to more stations and look around. So looks like cross sections came in nice. We got a super elevation happening. Everything came across just the way we wanted, and that is pretty much how we do our cross sections in a nutshell. That's the quick and easy using that general leaf, getting them out there. Again, if you had any custom cross sections that you wanted to create, there's another video out there that walks you through the custom leaf, and you could go view that one.